The white manager's hand cracked across her face like a gunshot. His palm connected with such force that her diamond earring flew off and skittered across the marble floor. Travis Cole didn't flinch. He didn't apologize. He stepped closer, his expensive cologne mixing with pure contempt, and he smiled. He actually smiled, because in his mind, he had just put another angry black woman in her place. What he didn't know, what he couldn't possibly understand, was that he had just slapped the owner of the building. The CEO whose signature controlled his paycheck, his career, his entire future. And in exactly 9 minutes, Dr. Maya Ellison would make him regret every single second of his miserable existence. Before we continue, drop a comment telling me which city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story travels. And please subscribe, because tomorrow's story is one you absolutely cannot miss. Now let me take you back to the beginning. Maya Ellison stepped out of the town car on 5th Avenue at exactly 8:47 in the morning. She adjusted her navy blue dress and took a breath. Today she wasn't arriving as the CEO of Ellison Hospitality Group. She wasn't coming as the woman whose name blazed in gold letters above the entrance. She was coming as just another guest. Just another black woman trying to check into a luxury hotel. The complaints had been piling up for months. Black businessmen asked for extra identification. Hispanic families randomly selected for room inspections. Asian couples whose reservations mysteriously disappeared. Her executive team called them isolated incidents, misunderstandings. Maya called them a pattern. Her driver caught her eye. "You sure about this, Dr. Ellison? I need to see what happens when they think no one important is watching Marcus." "Just be careful." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "I built this place. What's the worst that could happen?" The doorman didn't see her coming. He was too busy rushing to open the door for a white couple behind her. His eyes skimmed past Maya like she was invisible. She walked through the door herself, and he never even glanced her way. She noted this. The front desk was staffed by a young person with nervous eyes. Their name tag read Jordan Pike. "Good morning. I have a reservation under Ellison." Jordan's eyes narrowed. That look. Maya knew that look. The silent assessment. The quick calculation of whether this person belonged here. "ID and credit card, please." No greeting. No warmth. Just clipped words and suspicious eyes. Maya placed her identification on the counter. The white couple from outside approached the next clerk. "Welcome to the Ellison Grand. We're so delighted to have you." No request for ID from them. No suspicious glances. Just seamless hospitality. Jordan stared at Maya's credit card. "There seems to be an issue with your previous charge." "Yes, I noticed a double charge online. I'd like to have that corrected." "Ma'am." The voice came from behind Jordan. Deep. Dripping with authority. Maya turned to see a white man in an immaculate black suit approaching. Hair slicked back. Shoes gleaming like mirrors. Smile that never reached his eyes. Travis Cole. Hotel manager. 5 years of excellent performance reviews. And the common thread in every discrimination complaint Maya had received. "Is there a problem here?" Travis slid behind the counter without looking at her. "I was explaining about the double charge. I'm sure you've misunderstood our rate structure." He cut her off. His eyes stayed on the computer screen. "We are very clear about our pricing. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at another establishment. Something more." He paused. The silence stretched like a blade. "In your price range." Maya kept her voice steady. "I understand the rates perfectly well. I'm simply pointing out that my card was charged twice." Travis finally looked at her. His eyes traveled from her face to her dress to her luggage, assessing, dismissing. "Ma'am, I've been managing luxury properties for 15 years. Our billing system doesn't make mistakes." He leaned forward, invading her space. "Now, if you'd like to make a new reservation at our standard rate..." "I'd like to speak with someone in authority." Travis's smirk spread slowly. "You're looking at him, ma'am." The way he said it, like a slur, like a punchline. Jordan shifted uncomfortably. Other guests began to notice. Maya straightened her shoulders. "I'd like to speak with someone from corporate." "Corporate?" Travis laughed. "What's unacceptable is guests trying to run scams on my property. I've seen your type before." "My type? You know exactly what I mean." She did know. She had known men like Travis her entire life. "I'm going to call corporate directly." Maya reached for her phone. Travis's arm shot across the counter. His fingers clamped around her wrist. He pulled hard enough to yank her off balance. Her phone clattered to the marble floor. "You're not calling anyone." His grip tightened. Maya felt her bones grinding together. "Security. We need this woman removed from the property." Maya's voice came out steady, commanding. "Take your hands off me, now." Travis released her wrist, but came around the counter with quick, aggressive steps. His face flushed red. He positioned himself between her and the exit. "You come in here 'cause a scene try to run your little scam and then threaten me." He stepped closer. She could smell the coffee on his breath. "I know how to handle troublemakers like you." Maya didn't step back. She had stopped stepping back a long time ago. "I'll say this one final time. This is my hotel, and you need to step back." Travis's face contorted. "Your hotel!" He turned to the gathering crowd. "Did you hear that this crazy woman thinks she owns the place? I do own it. Every brick, every chandelier, every piece of marble you're standing on." Travis stepped closer. His hand was already rising. "You entitled." The slap came fast and hard. The sound cracked through the lobby like a whip. The force rocked her sideways. Her earring flew off. Blood welled where her teeth cut her lip. Silence. Terrible, hollow silence. Maya's cheek burned. But she didn't fall. She didn't cry. She planted her feet on the marble floor she had chosen herself, and she straightened her spine. The lobby had frozen. Phones raised, staff gaping. A child asking his mother what happened. Travis's hand was still raised, his chest heaved, and for the first time, uncertainty flickered across his face. Near the concierge desk, an older black woman in a housekeeping uniform rose slowly. Gloria Watkins. 35 years at this hotel. She recognized the woman Travis had just struck. "Dr. Ellison." Gloria's voice cut through the silence. "Are you all right?" Jordan's face went white. Staff members began to whisper. Travis's smirk collapsed. Maya touched her burning cheek. "I'm fine, Gloria. Thank you." She turned to Travis. "Now, let's discuss what happens next." You can't be..." Travis looked around desperately. "The personnel files don't have your photo. They have my name. The same name on this building. The same name on your paycheck." "Dr. Ellison, I had no idea." "Would it have mattered?" Maya's question sliced through his excuse. "Would you have treated me differently if you knew who I was?" Travis's face shifted through shock-fear calculation. "This is all a misunderstanding. I was just following protocol. You grabbed a guest by the wrist. You struck a woman across the face. Which protocol covers that, Mr. Cole?" Gloria had begun gathering staff. Housekeepers emerged from hallways. Kitchen staff came through service entrances. They gathered in uncertain clusters watching. Maya's phone was already connecting. She put it on speaker. "Operations. This is Marcus Chen." "Marcus, this is Dr. Maya Ellison. I've just been physically assaulted by the hotel manager at the Ellison Grand." Travis made a strangled sound. His hand went to his collar. "Dr. Ellison." Another voice joined. "This is Angela Chen from HR. We're recording. Please tell us what happened." Maya recounted everything. The discriminatory treatment, the condescending remarks, the physical restraint, the slap. Her voice never wavered. Her eyes never left Travis's ashen face. "The security cameras have everything. I want all recordings preserved immediately. Absolutely, Dr. Ellison. Security has been notified. Travis began backing toward the door. A security guard moved to block him. Dr. Ellison, do you want me to detain Mr. Cole? Maya looked at Travis. She saw the fear in his eyes now. She thought about her grandmother, who had worked as a maid in hotels that wouldn't serve her coffee. She thought about her father, who had slept in his car because hotels had no vacancy for black guests. Mr. Cole isn't going anywhere. Are you, Travis? He shook his head mutely. Maya turned to the gathered staff. 40 people, maybe more. Housekeepers, bellhops, kitchen staff, front desk clerks. They stood watching with expressions that ranged from horrified to defiant. 9 minutes ago, your manager struck me across the face. He did this because he assumed I was just another problem guest. She paused. More importantly, he did not recognize my basic human dignity. Some staff members looked away, others stared at their feet. A few met her gaze with open hostility. This incident is not isolated. Over the past year, we've received 37 complaints about discriminatory treatment at this property. 37 families made to feel like criminals. Gloria stood near the front, clutching a worn notebook. 35 years of records. Every slur, every buried complaint, every denied promotion. I came here to investigate those reports personally. I didn't expect such immediate confirmation. Maya pressed a button on her phone. The manager on duty chime rang through the PA system. Angela, please note the time. Effective immediately, I am implementing an emergency closure of this property for a complete review. Gasps rose from the crowd. Additionally, all current on-duty staff are terminated effective immediately. The lobby erupted. Shouts of anger, cries of disbelief. You can't do that, someone yelled. This is insane, a young clerk shouted. You can't fire everyone because of one incident. Maya turned to face him. One incident. How many incidents never made it to a complaint form? How many guests walked away vowing never to return? She gestured at Gloria's notebook. Mrs. Watkins has documented discrimination here for 35 years. The clerk fell silent. HR will contact each of you individually. Those not complicit may be offered positions elsewhere. Some may be welcomed back after proper training. She paused. But for most of you, this is your final day in my house. Travis found his voice. My family's lawyers will hear about this. Your family's lawyers can contact our legal department. They'll be especially interested in the security footage of you assaulting a woman in her own lobby. Her phone buzzed. The board wanted an emergency meeting. Maya looked around the lobby one final time. The beautiful space she had created to welcome everyone had become a monument to the very exclusion she had built her career fighting. Security will escort Mr. Cole to retrieve his belongings. He is not to touch any computers or files. The guard gripped Travis's arm. The same guard who had been ready to drag Maya out was now escorting Travis away. As they led him off, Maya caught Gloria's eye. The older woman was crying silently, but she was also smiling. 35 years, Gloria whispered. 35 years I've been waiting for this. Maya walked over and took Gloria's hands. I'm sorry it took so long. Don't be sorry. You're here now. Staff members were being escorted out. Some went quietly. Others cursed and shot Maya hateful looks. A few older employees of color nodded with exhausted relief. Jordan Pike hesitated near the exit. They looked back at Maya. Dr. Ellison, I knew it was wrong. The way Travis treated people. I knew, but I thought keeping my head down was smart. And now? Maya asked. Jordan didn't answer. They just walked away. Maya's phone rang. Eleanor Briggs, chair of the board. Maya, what is happening? I'm getting calls from investors from the press. An employee assaulted me in my lobby. Eleanor, I'm handling it. By firing the entire staff by shutting down our flagship property. I have a very clear idea of what I'm doing. She hung up. Gloria appeared with a glass of water. "You should sit down, Dr. Ellison." Maya almost laughed. "I'm fine, Gloria, but I'm going to need your help." "Anything, whatever you need." "I need those notebooks. Every incident you've documented, every complaint that was buried, every name." Gloria's eyes widened. "You want to see all of it?" "All of it. And then I'm going to make sure nothing like this ever happens again." Gloria reached into her pocket and withdrew the small notebook. Pages worn soft from years of handling. She pressed it into Maya's hands. "I've got 34 more at home. Been keeping them in a locked drawer waiting for someone who would care." Maya opened it. The first entry was dated 1989. A white manager calling a black bellhop boy. A Latina housekeeper denied promotion. Page after page of small cruelties and large injustices. "You kept records of everything." "Everything I could. Words on paper are harder to dismiss." "Thank you, Gloria. You have no idea how important this is." "I have some idea. I've been waiting 35 years to give these to someone who would use them." Maya's phone buzzed again. Messages piling up from board members, her assistant numbers she didn't recognize. But she didn't answer. She stood in the lobby, holding Gloria's notebook, and made a decision. She would not be managed. She would not be contained. She would not be convinced to calm down or see both sides. A man had struck her in her own house. And now she was going to tear down every rotten beam that had allowed him to think he could do that. "Can you stay, Gloria? I might need you." "I'm not going anywhere, Dr. Ellison. Not anymore." Maya took a deep breath. Her cheek still burned. Her heart still pounded. But something else was rising in her chest now. Something that felt like the first stirrings of a storm. The empty lobby waited in silence. But Maya knew the silence wouldn't last. Her phone rang again. Unknown number. She answered. "Dr. Ellison." A young voice, shaking. "This is Jordan Pike, the front desk clerk. I have something you need to see." Maya's grip tightened on the phone. "What is it?" "Travis. He's been keeping files, on guests. Which ones to watch, which ones to charge extra. It's all documented. And there's more." "More?" Jordan's voice dropped to a whisper. "He's been in contact with your board members. For months. They've been planning something. I don't know what, but I have the emails." Maya felt the floor shift beneath her feet. "Where are you?" "Still in the building. I copied everything to a flash drive before security locked down the computers." "Don't move. Don't talk to anyone. I'm coming to you." She hung up and turned to Gloria. "Something's wrong. Something bigger than Travis." Gloria's face hardened. "I always knew that man was just the tip of the iceberg." Maya started walking toward the service corridors. Her heels clicked against the marble with new urgency. 9 minutes to fire the staff. But the real battle was just beginning, and somewhere in the executive offices of Ellison hospitality people who had bet against Maya Ellison were about to learn they had made the worst mistake of their lives. The elevator doors closed behind her. Maya pressed the button for the security floor. Her reflection stared back at her from the polished metal navy dress, burning cheek eyes blazing with something that looked like war. She thought about what Jordan had said. Board members, months of planning. Travis wasn't acting alone. The elevator climbed. Maya touched the bruise forming on her face. They wanted to push her out. They wanted to take everything she had built. They thought slapping her down literally would break her. They were about to find out how wrong they were. The elevator stopped. The doors opened. Jordan was waiting in the hallway, clutching a small flash drive like it was a lifeline. Their face was pale. Their hands were shaking. "Dr. Ellison, I'm so sorry. I should have said something sooner. I should have... Later." Maya held out her hand. "Right now I need to see what's on that drive." Jordan placed it in her palm. "It's everything. Travis's files on guests, the emails with board members, and something else. What? Jordan swallowed hard. There's a recording. From 3 days ago. Travis and two men I didn't recognize. They were talking about you. About what would happen after you were gone. Maya's blood ran cold. After I was gone, they said. Jordan's voice cracked. They said the incident would force you out. That everything was arranged. That this week would be your last as CEO. Maya stared at the flash drive in her hand. 3 days ago. They had been planning this for at least 3 days. The confrontation. The assault. Maybe even the specific moment when Travis would strike her. It wasn't just racism. It was a coup. Who were the men? Maya asked. I don't know their names, but one of them. He mentioned the Cole family. Said they were finally going to get their hotel back. Gloria had followed Maya to the security floor. Her face had gone hard as stone. The founding family, Gloria said quietly. They never accepted that a black woman owned their legacy. I've heard them talking at charity events. Always so polite to your face, but behind closed doors. Maya looked at the flash drive, then at Gloria, then at Jordan. They wanted a scene, Maya said slowly. They wanted me to react badly. They wanted footage of the angry black woman losing control. But you didn't lose control, Jordan said. You were like ice. That's why they need a backup plan. Maya's mind was racing now. The original footage shows Travis assaulting me, but what if that footage disappeared? What if all anyone saw was me firing the entire staff? Gloria's eyes widened. They could edit it, make you look like the aggressor. Maya was already moving toward the security office. We need to secure that footage before anyone else gets to it. Every angle, every second. She pushed through the door. The security room was empty except for a wall of monitors showing different views of the hotel. The main recording system hummed in the corner. Maya sat down at the console. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. Come on, she muttered. Come on. The files loaded. Lobby cameras, multiple angles, time-stamped from this morning. She clicked on the first file. The footage played. She watched herself walk into the lobby, watched Jordan's cold reception, watched Travis approach with his predatory smile. And then she saw something that made her freeze. A figure in the background. A man in a dark suit watching the confrontation from behind a pillar. Not a guest, not staff. Someone she didn't recognize. When Travis slapped her, the man smiled. Then he pulled out his phone and started recording. Who is that? Gloria leaned closer to the screen. Maya zoomed in. The image was grainy, but the face was clear enough. I don't know, she said. But he knew what was coming. He was ready for it. Jordan pointed at the screen. That's one of them. One of the men from the recording 3 days ago. Maya's hands stopped moving on the keyboard. Someone had been planted in the lobby specifically to record the incident, to capture whatever happened, to control the narrative. This wasn't just a coup. This was a coordinated attack. Her phone buzzed. Eleanor Briggs again. Maya answered. Yes, Eleanor. Maya, I need you to come to the office immediately. The board is convening an emergency session. There are concerns. What kind of concerns? About your behavior this morning. About the footage that's been circulating. Maya felt ice form in her stomach. What footage? Haven't you seen it? It's everywhere. Someone posted a video of you firing the staff. But Maya... Eleanor paused. The video doesn't show what happened before. It starts with you calling everyone into the lobby. You look aggressive. The media is calling it a racially motivated firing spree. Maya closed her eyes. They had moved faster than she expected. Eleanor, that video is edited. I was assaulted. There's security footage. The board needs to discuss this in person, Maya. Please, come to the office. The line went dead. Maya looked at Gloria and Jordan. They've already released the edited version. They're trying to paint me as the villain. Gloria's jaw tightened. What do we do? Maya stood up. Her reflection in the dark monitors showed a woman with a bruised cheek and fire in her eyes. First, we copy every piece of security footage to a secure location. Then we find out exactly who is behind this. She pulled out the flash drive Jordan had given her. And then we go to war. Jordan's phone buzzed. They looked at the screen and went pale. Dr. Ellison, you need to see this. They turned the phone around. A social media post with millions of views already. The edited video of Maya firing the staff looped and reshared thousands of times. The caption read, CEO goes on racist tirade, fires entire staff for no reason. The comments were flooding in, calling her unhinged, calling her the real racist, demanding her resignation. Maya watched her own image on the screen. The woman in the video looked nothing like who she really was. The audio had been distorted to make her voice sound shrill. The footage cut away every time she mentioned the assault. They're good, she said quietly. They've been planning this for a long time. Gloria put a hand on her shoulder. But they don't know you, Dr. Ellison. They don't know what you're capable of. Maya looked at the woman who had spent 35 years documenting injustice, waiting for this moment. No, Maya agreed. They don't. She pocketed the flash drive, grabbed the backup of the security footage, and headed for the door. Where are we going? Jordan asked. Maya didn't look back. To show them exactly who they're dealing with. The elevator doors closed behind them. Maya pressed the button for the executive floor. Her reflection stared back at her navy dress, burning cheek eyes blazing with something that looked like war. They wanted to destroy her. They wanted to take everything she had built. But Maya Ellison had been fighting her whole life, and she was just getting started. The elevator doors opened onto the executive floor, and Maya stepped out with Gloria and Jordan close behind. Her heels struck the polished floor like hammer blows. Every step carried the weight of what she had just discovered. This wasn't about one racist manager. This was about people in her own company plotting to destroy her. Her phone buzzed again. Another notification. The edited video had crossed 2 million views. Dr. Ellison. Her assistant Patricia rushed toward her. The board is already assembled. They started without you. Maya didn't slow down. How long? 20 minutes. Eleanor called an emergency session the moment the video went viral. 20 minutes. They had been meeting for 20 minutes while Maya was securing evidence, while she was discovering the scope of the conspiracy against her. They hadn't even waited for her side of the story. Who's in there? Maya asked. Patricia's face told her everything. Everyone, including Nathan Cole. Maya stopped walking. Nathan Cole, Travis's uncle, the patriarch of the founding family, the man who had spent 20 years watching a black woman run the company his grandfather had started. He flew in this morning, Patricia continued. Before the incident, he was already in the building when it happened. Gloria grabbed Maya's arm. He knew. He was here because he knew what Travis was going to do. Maya looked at the flash drive in her hand. Jordan's evidence, the emails, the recordings, the proof of a coordinated attack. Patricia, I need you to do something for me. Maya's voice was calm, but her eyes were burning. Take this drive, copy everything to my personal server and to 3 separate cloud accounts. Do it now before anyone can stop you. Patricia took the drive without hesitation. What's on it? Insurance. Patricia disappeared down the hallway. Maya turned to Gloria and Jordan. Stay here. No matter what happens in that room, do not leave this floor. If anyone tries to make you leave, call my attorney. She handed Gloria a business card. Alicia Ramos. Tell her everything. Gloria's hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. What are you going to do? Maya straightened her navy dress. She could still feel the throb in her cheek where Travis had struck her. The bruise was darkening now, visible proof of what had really happened. I'm going to remind them whose name is on the building. She pushed through the double doors into the boardroom. 12 faces turned to look at her. 12 board members seated around the long mahogany table that Maya had chosen herself 5 years ago. At the head of the table sat Eleanor Briggs, her silver hair perfect, her expression carefully controlled. And beside her in a chair that wasn't usually there, sat Nathan Cole. He was 73 years old, white hair, blue eyes, the kind of face that belonged on country club brochures and old money portraits. He looked at Maya the way Travis had looked at her in the lobby, like she was an intruder in her own house. Maya. Eleanor's voice was strained. "We've been waiting for you." "I can see that." Maya didn't sit. She walked to the opposite end of the table and stood there facing them all. "I can also see that you started without me, which is interesting given that I'm the CEO of this company. Given recent events," Eleanor said carefully, "the board felt it was important to convene immediately." Recent events. Maya let the words hang in the air. "You mean the assault?" "We've all seen the video, Maya." This came from Director Thompson, a man who had never hidden his resentment of her leadership. "You fired the entire staff of our flagship property, without consultation, without board approval. I was assaulted." Maya's voice cut through the room. "Your manager grabbed me by the wrist. He slapped me across the face, in front of guests, in front of staff, in front of security cameras that recorded everything." "That's not what the video shows," Thompson countered. "That's not what the edited video shows." Maya placed both hands on the table. "The original footage which I have secured shows exactly what happened. Travis Cole assaulted me. I responded by exercising my authority as CEO to protect guests and employees from a hostile work environment." Nathan Cole spoke for the first time. His voice was soft, almost gentle. "Dr. Ellison, no one is disputing that my nephew may have acted inappropriately." May have acted inappropriately. Maya wanted to laugh. The man's nephew had slapped her across the face, and he called it inappropriate. "However," Nathan continued, "your response has created a crisis that threatens the very survival of this company. Our stock is down 20%. Major clients are canceling contracts. The media is portraying you as unstable and vindictive. The media is showing edited footage that was deliberately manipulated to destroy my reputation." Maya reached into her pocket and pulled out her phone. "I have evidence that this entire incident was planned, coordinated, executed by people within this company who want me gone." The room went silent. Eleanor leaned forward. "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about emails between Travis Cole and members of this board. I'm talking about recordings of meetings where my removal was discussed days before the incident in the lobby. I'm talking about a man who was planted in that lobby specifically to record what happened and control the narrative." Nathan Cole's face didn't change, but Maya saw his hands tighten on the armrests of his chair. "These are serious accusations," Eleanor said. "They're serious crimes." Maya locked eyes with Nathan. "Assault, conspiracy, securities fraud. When the full scope of this plot becomes public, people in this room are going to prison." Thompson slammed his hand on the table. "This is exactly what we're talking about, this paranoid aggressive behavior. You can't threaten board members because you're upset about a personnel issue." "A personnel issue?" Maya's voice rose for the first time. She touched her bruised cheek. "Is this a personnel issue? Is being slapped in my own lobby a personnel issue?" "No one is minimizing what happened to you," Eleanor said quickly. "But your response—" "My response was proportional. My response was necessary. My response was exactly what any CEO would do when they discovered systemic discrimination and corruption in their organization." Nathan Cole stood up slowly. "I think we should take a vote." Maya felt the air change in the room. This was what they had been waiting for. This was why Nathan was here. This was why the board had convened before she could even wash the blood from her lip. A vote on what? She asked, though she already knew. On your continued leadership of this company. Nathan's soft voice carried the weight of old money and older grudges. Given the current crisis, I move that we place Dr. Ellison on administrative leave pending a full investigation into today's events. You can't do that. Maya's voice was steady, but her heart was pounding. I'm the majority shareholder. I control this company. You control 47%, Nathan corrected. The founding family controls 23%, and I've spent the last 3 months building a coalition that controls another 15%. The math crashed through Maya's mind. 47 plus 38. They had the votes. They had been building toward this moment for months, maybe years. This is a coup, Maya said quietly. This is corporate governance. Nathan's smile was thin, cold. The board has a fiduciary duty to protect shareholder value. Your actions today have endangered that value. We're simply acting in the company's best interest. By removing the woman who built this company from nothing. By removing a CEO who has demonstrated poor judgment and instability. Nathan looked around the table. All in favor of placing Dr. Ellison on administrative leave. Hands rose around the table. One by one. Thompson, Harrison, Mitchell, Chen. Names she had trusted. Faces she had worked beside for years. 7 hands, then 8, then 9. Eleanor Briggs was the last to raise her hand. She didn't meet Maya's eyes. Motion passes, Nathan announced. Dr. Ellison, effective immediately, you are placed on administrative leave. Security will escort you from the building. Maya stood frozen at the end of the table. 20 years. 20 years of building this company from a single hotel to a hospitality empire. 20 years of fighting prejudice and doubt and men who looked at her the way Nathan Cole was looking at her now. And they had taken it from her in less than an hour. This isn't over, Maya said. I think it is. Nathan sat back down, satisfaction spreading across his face. Security, please escort Dr. Ellison to collect her belongings. The door opened behind her. 2 guards stood waiting. The same company she had built was now using her own security to push her out. Maya turned to leave, but at the door she stopped. Nathan. The old man looked up. Your nephew is going to prison for assault. The footage proves it. And when my attorneys are done investigating this conspiracy, you're going to join him. She walked out before he could respond. In the hallway, Gloria and Jordan were waiting exactly where she had left them. Their faces told her they already knew. Dr. Ellison, Gloria started. They took everything. Maya's voice was hollow. 20 years, and they took it all in one vote. Jordan held up their phone. The edited video is at 5 million views. The comments are getting worse. People are calling for criminal charges against you. Maya leaned against the wall. Her legs felt weak. The adrenaline that had carried her through the confrontation was fading, leaving only exhaustion and the throbbing ache in her cheek. Dr. Ellison. Gloria's voice was fierce. This is not over. You hear me? This is not over. Maya looked at the woman who had spent 35 years fighting the same battles, who had documented every injustice waiting for someone to care, who had never given up even when giving up would have been easier. No, Maya said slowly. It's not. Her phone rang. Patricia. Dr. Ellison, I copied everything. 3 cloud accounts plus your personal server. But there's something else. What? While I was copying the files, I found something hidden in the email chain. A document labeled Ellison Succession Plan. It's dated 3 months ago. It outlines everything. The incident, the video, the board vote. Everything that happened today was scripted. Maya closed her eyes. 3 months. They had been planning her destruction for 3 months. There's more, Patricia continued. The document mentions a hedge fund, Blackstone Capital Partners. They've been in negotiations with the Cole family to buy the flagship hotel. But the deal has a condition. What condition? Your removal as CEO. The hedge fund won't close the deal while you're in charge. They say you're too focused on social issues instead of pure profit. Maya opened her eyes. The pieces were falling into place. The assault wasn't random. The video wasn't opportunistic. Everything that had happened today was designed to trigger her removal so the Cole family could sell the hotel and regain control of their legacy. Patricia, I need you to send that document to Alicia Ramos immediately. Already done. And Patricia, thank you for everything. Dr. Ellison, Patricia's voice cracked. I've worked for you for 12 years. You gave me a chance when no one else would. Whatever you need, I'm here. Maya hung up and looked at Gloria and Jordan. We have proof. They planned everything. The assault, the video, the vote. It's all documented. So what do we do? Jordan asked. Maya straightened her spine. The exhaustion was still there, but something else was rising now. Something that felt like the storm that had been building in her chest since Travis Cole's hand connected with her face. We fight back. Her phone rang again. Unknown number. She answered. Dr. Ellison. A woman's voice. Professional. Sharp. My name is Rachel Torres. I'm a reporter with the New York Times. I've been investigating the Cole family for 6 months. I think we should talk. Maya felt the first spark of hope since she walked into that boardroom. I'm listening. I know about the hedge fund deal. I know about the emails between Travis Cole and board members. And I know that the video circulating online isn't the original footage. How do you know all this? Because someone on your board has been feeding me information for months. They wanted insurance in case things went wrong. And Dr. Ellison, things have definitely gone wrong. Maya looked at Gloria, at Jordan, at the two people who had stood by her when everyone else turned away. Ms. Torres, I have evidence, documents, recordings, the full security footage from this morning. Can we meet tonight? Name the place. Rachel gave her an address, a coffee shop in Brooklyn, neutral territory. One more thing, Dr. Ellison. The board thinks they've won. They think you're finished. But they made one mistake. What's that? They underestimated you. And they underestimated how many people are watching. The edited video has 5 million views. But people are starting to ask questions. They're noticing the cuts, the missing footage, the convenient narrative. You're not alone in this fight. The line went dead. Maya put her phone away and looked at the two women standing with her. Gloria, I need your notebooks. All 35 of them. Every incident you've documented. Every complaint that was buried. Everything. Gloria nodded. I'll get them tonight. Jordan, I need you to write down everything you know. Every conversation you overheard. Every instruction Travis gave about how to treat certain guests. Everything. Jordan's face was pale but determined. I'll do it. Maya started walking toward the elevator. The security guards fell into step behind her, escorting her out of her own building. Dr. Ellison? Gloria called after her. Where are you going? Maya turned back. Her cheek was bruised. Her career was in ruins. Her company had been stolen from her by the same people she had trusted to help her run it. But her eyes were clear. Her voice was steady, and her resolve was absolute. I'm going to get my company back, and I'm going to make every single person who did this to me wish they had never been born. The elevator doors closed on her face. The security guards shifted uncomfortably beside her. They had tried to break her. They had slapped her, betrayed her, stolen everything she had built. But Maya Ellison wasn't broken. She was just getting started. The elevator descended toward the lobby, carrying a woman who had nothing left to lose and everything to fight for. And somewhere in the city, a reporter was waiting with questions that would tear the Cole family's empire apart. The clock on the elevator wall read 4:47 p.m. In less than 8 hours, Maya Ellison's world had been destroyed. In less than 24 hours, she would begin building it back. One truth at a time. The coffee shop in Brooklyn was nearly empty when Maya walked through the door at 9:23 p.m. She spotted Rachel Torres immediately. The reporter sat alone in a corner booth, laptop, open papers spread across the table. She looked up as Maya approached, and something shifted in her expression. Recognition, respect, maybe even admiration. "Dr. Ellison?" Rachel stood and extended her hand. "Thank you for coming." Maya shook it firmly. "You said you have information." "I do. But first I need to show you something." Rachel turned her laptop around. On the screen was a paused video. "This is the original footage from your hotel lobby, not the edited version that's been circulating, the real one." Maya felt her chest tighten. "Where did you get this?" "A source inside your company. Someone who's been watching the Cole family for years, waiting for them to make a mistake big enough to expose." Rachel pressed play. Maya watched herself walk into the lobby, watched Jordan's cold reception, watched Travis approach with his predatory smile, and then she watched the slap. Clear, unmistakable, brutal. "The edited version cuts out everything before you gather the staff," Rachel explained. "It removes Travis grabbing your wrist. It removes the assault entirely. Someone went to a lot of trouble to make you look like the aggressor." "I know who." Maya's voice was hard. "Nathan Cole, the founding family. They've been planning this for months." Rachel nodded slowly. "I've been investigating the Cole family since they first started pushing back against your diversity initiatives. They hate everything you've built. They see you as someone who stole their legacy." "I bought this company legally. I transformed it into something better." "That's exactly what they can't stand." Rachel pulled out a folder. 6 months ago, I received documents from an anonymous source. Financial records, internal communications. Evidence that the Cole family has been systematically working to undermine your leadership." Maya took the folder. Inside were emails she hadn't seen before. Messages between Nathan Cole and hedge fund executives. Between Travis Cole and board members. Between lawyers and private investigators. One email caught her eye. Dated 3 months ago. From Nathan Cole to an address she didn't recognize. The subject line read, "Ellison Removal Timeline." Maya's hands trembled as she read. The email outlined everything. Phase 1, create an incident that would force Maya to react. Phase 2, ensure the reaction was captured and edited to portray her negatively. Phase 3, use the media firestorm to justify board action. Phase 4, complete the hedge fund acquisition with new leadership in place. "They planned it all," Maya whispered. "Every single detail." "There's more." Rachel pulled out another document. "The hedge fund Blackstone Capital Partners has been in secret negotiations with the Cole family for over a year. The deal is worth $300 million, but it has conditions." Maya looked up. "My removal." "Your removal, the elimination of your diversity programs, and the restoration of the Cole family to operational control. They want to turn back the clock 20 years. Maya set down the documents. Her mind was racing. The scope of the conspiracy was larger than she had imagined. This wasn't just about Travis slapping her in the lobby. This was about erasing everything she had built. "Why are you helping me?" Maya asked. "What do you get out of this?" Rachel met her gaze steadily. 5 years ago, I was a young reporter trying to break a story about discrimination in the hospitality industry. I reached out to dozens of hotel executives for comment. You were the only one who called me back. You spent 3 hours explaining the systemic issues. You gave me access to your staff. You helped me write a story that won a journalism award. Maya remembered. The article had exposed widespread discrimination across the industry. It had cost her relationships with other hotel chains, but it had been the right thing to do. "You didn't have to help me then," Rachel continued, "but you did, because you believed in the truth. Now, it's my turn." Maya felt something loosen in her chest. For the first time since the boardroom vote, she didn't feel completely alone. "What do you need from me?" Maya asked. "Everything. The security footage, the emails Jordan gave you, Gloria's notebooks. I want to publish the real story, not the narrative the Cole family is pushing. The truth." "When?" Rachel checked her watch. "I can have it ready by morning. Front page of the Times website. By tomorrow afternoon, every news outlet in the country will be covering the real story." Maya nodded slowly. "Do it." Her phone buzzed. A text from Gloria. "I'm at your apartment. I have all 35 notebooks, but Dr. Ellison, there's someone else here. She says she knows you, says her name is Eleanor Briggs." Maya stared at the message. Eleanor Briggs, the board chair who had raised her hand to remove her, the woman who hadn't even looked at her when casting the deciding vote. "Something wrong?" Rachel asked. "I don't know yet." Maya stood. "I have to go, but you'll have everything you need within the hour. Patricia will send the files." "Dr. Ellison." Rachel's voice stopped her. "Be careful. The Cole family has a lot of money and no conscience. They've already shown they're willing to have you assaulted. I don't know how far they'll go to protect themselves." Maya thought about the bruise on her cheek, about the hands around her wrist, about the smile on Travis Cole's face when he struck her. "Neither do I," she said. "But I'm done being afraid." She walked out of the coffee shop and into the night. The drive to her apartment took 20 minutes. 20 minutes of watching the city lights blur past. 20 minutes of thinking about everything she had lost and everything she still had to fight for. Gloria met her at the door. The older woman's face was lined with worry. "She's in the living room. Been waiting for almost an hour. Wouldn't say what she wants." Maya walked past Gloria and into her apartment. Eleanor Briggs sat on the edge of the sofa, hands clasped in her lap. She looked smaller somehow. Older. The confident board chair had been replaced by a woman carrying the weight of something terrible. "Maya." Eleanor stood quickly. "Thank you for seeing me." "You have 30 seconds to explain why I shouldn't have you thrown out." Eleanor flinched at the coldness in Maya's voice. "I deserve that. I deserve worse than that. You raised your hand. You voted to remove me. You didn't even look at me." "I know." Eleanor's voice cracked. "And I will regret it for the rest of my life." "Regret doesn't give me back my company." "No, but this might." Eleanor reached into her purse and pulled out a USB drive. Everything. Every email. Every document. Every recording. The entire conspiracy documented from the inside. Maya didn't take it. Why would you give me this?" Eleanor's composure finally broke. Tears spilled down her cheeks, cutting through her perfect makeup. "Because I was part of it. Because Nathan Cole threatened to destroy my family if I didn't cooperate. Because I've spent the last 6 months watching them plan your destruction, and I was too much of a coward to stop them." Maya felt nothing. No sympathy. No connection. Just cold, hard fury. "You let them do this to me. You could have warned me. You could have gone to the authorities. Instead, you sat in that boardroom and raised your hand." "I know." Eleanor was sobbing now. "I know what I did. But Maya, they have things on me. Things that could destroy my family, my career, everything. Nathan Cole doesn't just want to control the company. He wants to control everyone in it." "What kind of things?" Eleanor hesitated. Then she reached into her purse again and pulled out a photograph. Maya took it. The image showed Eleanor's daughter, a young woman in her 20s, standing outside a building that looked like a clinic. The sign on the door was blurred, but Maya could make out one word: recovery. "My daughter had a drug problem," Eleanor said quietly. "She's been clean for 3 years now, but Nathan found out. He threatened to leak her medical records, to destroy her reputation, to make sure she never got a job or had a normal life." Maya looked at the photograph, then at Eleanor, then at the USB drive still in Eleanor's hand. "So you sold me out to protect your daughter?" "Yes," Eleanor's voice was barely a whisper. And I will never forgive myself for it. Maya was silent for a long moment. She thought about her own mother, about the things she would do to protect someone she loved, about the impossible choices that people were forced to make. The drive, Maya finally said. What's on it? Eleanor straightened slightly, wiping her eyes. Everything Nathan wanted hidden, the original plan to force you out. The communications with Blackstone Capital, the payments to the man who edited the video, and something else, something even Nathan doesn't know I have. What? A recording. From 3 days ago. Nathan and Travis discussing what would happen in the lobby. Travis was nervous. He wasn't sure he could go through with it. Nathan told him exactly what to do, exactly how to provoke you, exactly where to stand so the planted cameraman could get the best angle. Maya's blood ran cold. He coached his nephew to assault me. It was never supposed to go that far. The original plan was for Travis to be rude enough to make you lose your temper. The slap was Travis's idea. He wanted to prove something, to Nathan, to himself, to every white man who ever felt threatened by a successful black woman. Maya took the USB drive from Eleanor's trembling hand, and the board vote was that part of the plan too. Every detail. Nathan spent months building his coalition. He knew exactly how many votes he needed. He knew exactly which board members could be bought or threatened. By the time you walked into that room, the outcome was already decided. Gloria had been listening from the doorway. She stepped forward now, her face hard with decades of suppressed rage. They've been doing this for years, Gloria said. Different targets, different methods, but always the same goal. Keeping people like us in our place. Eleanor looked at Gloria, really looked at her. I know who you are, Mrs. Watkins. I've read your file. 35 years of perfect service, and they never promoted you past housekeeping supervisor. You deserved better. We all deserved better. Gloria's voice was steady. The question is, what are you going to do about it now? Eleanor turned back to Maya. Whatever you need. I'll testify. I'll go public. I'll burn my own career to the ground if that's what it takes to stop them. Maya studied the woman in front of her. An hour ago, she would have dismissed Eleanor as just another collaborator, another enemy. But looking at her now, Maya saw something different. She saw a woman who had been trapped by the same system she had fought against her whole life. The emergency shareholder meeting, Maya said slowly. When is it scheduled? Tomorrow morning. 10 o'clock. Nathan wants to formalize your removal before you can mount any kind of counterattack. And the hedge fund deal. Scheduled to close by end of week. As soon as you're officially out, Blackstone takes control. Maya walked to her window and looked out at the city. Somewhere out there, Nathan Cole was celebrating his victory. Travis Cole was probably already talking to lawyers about minimizing his assault charges. The board members who had betrayed her were sleeping soundly, confident that they had won. They had no idea what was coming. Eleanor, I need you to do something for me. Anything. Tomorrow's shareholder meeting. I want you to make sure every major investor is there, not just the board. Everyone who holds significant shares in this company. Eleanor nodded quickly. I can do that, but why? Maya turned from the window. Her bruised cheek caught the light. Her eyes were blazing with something that looked like war. Because I'm going to invoke Article 7, Section 12. Eleanor's face went pale. The civil rights provision, Maya, that's never been used. The legal challenges alone. The civil rights provision allows for the stripping of voting rights from any shareholder bloc found complicit in discriminatory practices or retaliation against those who report them. Maya's voice was cold and precise. Nathan Cole orchestrated an assault against me because of my race. Travis Cole executed it. Board members enabled it. That's textbook discrimination and retaliation. You'd need evidence. Overwhelming evidence. Maya held up the USB drive Eleanor had given her. Then she gestured to Gloria's stack of notebooks on the table. Then she pulled out her phone showing Rachel Torres's contact. I have 35 years of documented discrimination. I have recordings of Nathan coaching his nephew to attack me. I have a New York Times reporter ready to publish the real story by morning, and I have you." Eleanor stared at her. "You want me to testify against Nathan Cole, in front of everyone. I want you to tell the truth. For once in your life, I want you to stand up and tell the truth." The silence stretched between them. Gloria watched from the doorway, her weathered hands clutching her notebooks. Jordan had arrived at some point and was standing behind Gloria, eyes wide with fear and hope. Eleanor Briggs looked at the photograph of her daughter still lying on the coffee table. She thought about the years of compromise, the years of silence, the years of watching injustice and doing nothing. "Yes," she said finally. "I'll do it." Maya's phone rang. Rachel Torres. "It's done," Rachel said. "The story goes live at 6 a.m. Full footage, full documentation, everything." "Thank you, Rachel." "Don't thank me yet. The Cole family is going to fight back hard. They're already trying to get an injunction to stop publication." "Will it work?" "Not a chance. The First Amendment still means something. But Maya, be ready. By morning, this is going to be the biggest story in America." Maya hung up and looked at the people gathered in her apartment. Gloria, who had waited 35 years for this moment. Jordan, who had risked everything to do the right thing. Eleanor, who was finally choosing truth over fear. "Get some rest," Maya told them. "Tomorrow we take back everything they stole." Gloria shook her head. "I'm not tired. Haven't been this awake in years." Jordan managed a small smile. "I couldn't sleep if I tried." Eleanor straightened her shoulders. "Tell me what you need me to do." Maya looked at the clock. 11:47 p.m. In less than 11 hours, she would walk into that shareholder meeting and face the people who had tried to destroy her. "Gloria, I need you to organize your notebooks. Every incident sorted by date and type. We're going to show them 35 years of discrimination they thought they could bury." Gloria was already moving, spreading her notebooks across the dining table with practiced efficiency. "Jordan, I need your written statement. Everything you witnessed. Everything Travis told you about how to treat certain guests. Every instruction that came from above." Jordan pulled out a laptop and started typing. "Eleanor, I need the names. Every board member who was threatened. Every one who was bribed. Every secret Nathan Cole is using to control people." Eleanor sat down and began to write. Maya stood in the center of her living room watching them work. Her cheeks still throbbed. Her body ached with exhaustion. But something else was flowing through her now. Something stronger than pain. Purpose. Her phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. "Dr. Ellison, this is Marcus Chen from Operations. I know what happened today wasn't right. A lot of us know. Whatever you're planning, you're not alone. We're with you." Another text came in. Then another. Then another. Employees from across the company reaching out in the middle of the night to offer their support. People she had never met, telling her they believed in her. They believed in what she had built. Maya felt tears prick her eyes for the first time since Travis Cole's hand had connected with her face. She wasn't just fighting for herself anymore. She was fighting for everyone who had ever been slapped down, pushed out, told they didn't belong. She was fighting for Gloria's 35 years of silence, for Jordan's courage to speak up, for every black family that had been turned away from hotels that didn't want their business. And tomorrow, she was going to win. The clock struck midnight. A new day had begun. Maya Ellison sat down at her computer and started preparing for war. The New York Times story broke at exactly 6:00 a.m. Maya watched the article go live on her phone, her heart pounding as the headline spread across the screen. Hotel CEO assaulted in own lobby, evidence reveals corporate conspiracy to remove black executive. Within 30 minutes, the story had been shared over 100,000 times. Within an hour, it was trending on every social media platform. Within 2 hours, every major news network was scrambling to cover what Rachel Torres had uncovered. Maya's phone rang at 6:47 a.m. Rachel's voice was breathless with excitement. "It's everywhere! CNN is running it as breaking news. MSNBC has a panel discussing the implications. Even Fox is covering it, though. They're trying to spin it as corporate drama." "What about the original video?" Maya asked. "Over 10 million views and climbing. People are sharing it side by side with the edited version. The difference is undeniable. Nathan Cole's narrative is falling apart." Maya allowed herself a small smile. The first step had worked, but the real battle was still ahead. "What about the Cole family? Any response?" Their lawyers issued a statement calling the Times story defamatory and threatening legal action. But Maya, no one's buying it. The evidence is too clear. The recordings are too damning. "Thank you, Rachel, for everything. Don't thank me yet. Win that shareholder meeting first. Then we'll celebrate." Maya hung up and looked around her apartment. Gloria was asleep on the couch, her notebooks stacked neatly beside her. Jordan was curled up in an armchair laptop, still open on their chest. Eleanor had gone home to prepare for what she would have to do in a few hours. The clock read 6:52 a.m. 3 hours until the shareholder meeting that would decide everything. Maya showered and dressed carefully, choosing a deep burgundy suit that matched her nails. The color of power. The color of blood. She applied makeup carefully, not hiding the bruise on her cheek, but highlighting it. Let them see what their conspiracy had done. Let them look at the evidence written on her face. At 8:30 a.m., Gloria woke with a start. She looked around momentarily confused, then focused on Maya standing by the window. "Dr. Ellison, you should have woken me." "You needed the rest. We all did." Gloria stood slowly, her joints protesting. "Is it time?" "Almost. We leave in 30 minutes. Jordan stirred in the armchair, blinking awake. They checked their phone and their eyes went wide. "Dr. Ellison, the story, it's everywhere. My social media is blowing up." "Good. That's what we need." Maya's phone buzzed with a text from Eleanor. "I'm outside the conference center. Security is heavy. Nathan is already inside. He looks worried." Maya typed back, "He should be." At 9:15 a.m., Maya walked out of her apartment building with Gloria and Jordan flanking her. A crowd had gathered on the sidewalk. Reporters, cameras, microphones thrust toward her face. "Dr. Ellison, is it true you were assaulted by your own manager?" "Dr. Ellison, what do you say to claims that you're trying to destroy the Cole family?" "Dr. Ellison, are you planning legal action against the board?" Maya didn't stop. She didn't engage. She walked through the crowd with her head high, her bruised cheek catching the morning light, her eyes fixed straight ahead. The car ride to the conference center took 20 minutes. 20 minutes of silence. 20 minutes of preparation. Gloria clutched her notebooks like weapons. Jordan reviewed their statement one final time. Maya stared out the window, watching the city she had conquered and lost, and was about to conquer again. At 9:47 a.m., they arrived. The conference center was surrounded by news vans and protesters. Some held signs supporting Maya. Others, clearly planted by the Cole family, held signs calling her a fraud and a racist. Maya ignored them all. Inside, the atmosphere was electric with tension. Shareholders filled the auditorium, many of them clutching copies of the morning papers. The New York Times story had changed everything. People who had been ready to rubber stamp Nathan Cole's takeover were now looking at him with suspicion and doubt. Nathan Cole sat at the front of the room, flanked by lawyers and board members. His face was composed, but Maya could see the tightness around his eyes. The fear he was trying to hide. Travis Cole was notably absent. Maya had heard he was with his own lawyers preparing for the criminal charges that were surely coming. Eleanor Briggs sat apart from the other board members, her face pale but determined. She met Maya's eyes and gave a small nod. At exactly 10:00 a.m., Nathan Cole stood and approached the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on such short notice. As you know, recent events have created significant challenges for our company. Today, we will formally address the leadership transition and chart a path forward for Ellison Hospitality. Before you do that, Maya's voice cut through the room. I'd like to exercise my right as a shareholder to address this assembly. Nathan's jaw tightened. Dr. Ellison, you're on administrative leave. You have no standing to... I have standing as someone who holds 47% of this company's shares. Maya walked down the center aisle, her heels clicking against the floor. I have standing as the woman your nephew assaulted yesterday morning. And I have standing as someone with evidence that this entire meeting is the result of a criminal conspiracy. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Nathan's lawyers huddled together, whispering urgently. This is highly irregular, Nathan said, his voice rising. Security, please, escort Dr. Ellison. Touch me again, Maya said quietly, and I will add assault charges to the list of crimes I'm documenting today. Nathan's hand, which had been reaching for a security guard, dropped to his side. Maya reached the front of the room and turned to face the assembled shareholders. Her bruised cheek was visible to everyone. Her voice was clear and steady. Yesterday morning, I walked into the Ellison Grand Hotel as a guest. I wanted to see how my staff treated people when they thought no one important was watching. What I discovered was a culture of discrimination that has been allowed to fester for years. She pulled out her phone and connected it to the room's display system. The original, unedited footage began to play on the large screen behind her. This is what really happened. Not the edited version that was released to destroy my reputation. The truth. The room watched in silence as Travis Cole grabbed Maya's wrist. As he stepped around the counter, as his hand connected with her face, someone in the audience gasped. Another person cursed under their breath. This assault was not random, Maya continued. It was planned, coordinated, executed as part of a conspiracy to remove me from my position so that the Cole family could sell this company to a hedge fund and restore their control. She clicked to the next slide. Emails appeared on the screen. Communications between Nathan Cole and Blackstone Capital Partners. Between Travis Cole and board members. Between lawyers discussing the Ellison removal timeline. These documents prove that Nathan Cole spent months building a coalition to overthrow me, that he coached his nephew on how to provoke me, that he had a cameraman planted in the lobby specifically to record what happened and edit it to make me look like the aggressor. Nathan was on his feet now. These are fabricated documents. This is slander. I have recordings. Maya's voice didn't waver. Audio recordings of you, Nathan, telling Travis exactly what to do, explaining how to provoke me, discussing where the cameraman should stand for the best angle. She pressed play. Nathan Cole's voice filled the room. Just be condescending. Make her feel small. She'll lose her temper eventually. These people always do. When she reacts, make sure you're positioned so Gary can get a clear shot. We'll edit out anything that doesn't fit the narrative. The recording ended. The silence that followed was absolute. Nathan's face had gone white. His lawyers were no longer whispering. They were frozen, staring at the screen, like they had just watched their case collapse. There's more, Maya said. Much more. But first, I'd like to call a witness. Someone who was part of this conspiracy. Someone who has decided to tell the truth. Eleanor Briggs stood up. Her legs were shaking, but her voice was strong. My name is Eleanor Briggs. I am the chair of the board of Ellison Hospitality, and for the past 6 months, I have been complicit in a conspiracy to remove Dr. Maya Ellison from her position as CEO. The room erupted, shareholders shouting, lawyers objecting. Nathan Cole's face contorted with rage. You traitor! Nathan screamed at Eleanor. You ungrateful backstabbing! I was threatened. Eleanor shouted back. You threatened my daughter. You threatened to destroy her life if I didn't cooperate. Maya raised her hand for silence. Slowly, the room quieted. Eleanor is not the only victim of Nathan Cole's tactics. Over the past 24 hours, I have received communications from multiple board members who were threatened, bribed, or blackmailed into supporting the conspiracy against me. She clicked to another slide. A list of names appeared. Board members who had voted to remove her. Beside each name was a description of how Nathan Cole had controlled them. Director Thompson. Threatened with exposure of extramarital affair. Director Harrison promised position at Blackstone after acquisition. Director Mitchell Sons business received undisclosed investment from Cole family. Director Chen's sister's medical debts, paid by anonymous donor, traced to Cole accounts. This is not corporate governance, Maya said. This is corruption. This is coercion. This is a criminal enterprise operating within my company. Nathan Cole's lawyers were pulling him toward the exit. He shook them off violently. This proves nothing. His voice cracked with desperation. These are allegations, accusations from a woman who has shown herself to be unstable and vindictive. Then you won't mind if I play another recording? Maya's voice was ice. This one is from 3 days ago, you and Travis, discussing what would happen if the assault went too far. She pressed play. Travis's voice came first, nervous and uncertain. What if I actually hurt her? What if this backfires? Then Nathan's voice calm and reassuring. It won't matter. By the time anyone figures out what really happened, she'll be gone and we'll have control. And even if she tries to fight back, who's going to believe an angry black woman over us? This is America, son. We always win. The recording ended. Maya looked directly at Nathan Cole. Who's going to believe an angry black woman over us? She repeated. This is America. We always win. She turned to face the shareholders. I am invoking Article 7, Section 12 of our investor agreement, the civil rights provision. This clause allows for the stripping of voting rights from any shareholder bloc found complicit in discriminatory practices or retaliation against those who report them. Nathan Cole lunged forward. Security guards intercepted him, grabbing his arms as he struggled against them. You can't do this. This company is my legacy. My family built this. Your family sold this company to me 20 years ago. Maya's voice didn't rise. I turned it into something worth 10 times what you gave me. And now you tried to steal it back through assault and conspiracy. She addressed the room again. I call for an immediate vote on the following motion pursuant to Article 7, Section 12. The Cole family's voting rights are hereby suspended pending criminal investigation into charges of assault, conspiracy, securities fraud, and civil rights violations. A shareholder in the middle of the room stood up. An older black man with gray hair and tired eyes. I second the motion. Another shareholder rose, then another. Then another. All in favor? Maya asked. Hands rose throughout the room. One by one, then in clusters, then in waves. Maya counted. 63%. More than enough. The motion passes. Her voice rang through the room. The Cole family's voting rights are suspended. All pending acquisition agreements are nullified. And Nathan Cole is hereby banned from all company properties pending the outcome of criminal proceedings. Nathan Cole stopped struggling. He stared at Maya with pure hatred in his eyes. This isn't over, he snarled. My lawyers will tear this apart. You'll never, Mr. Cole. A new voice cut through the chaos. 2 uniformed police officers had entered the room. Nathan Cole, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit assault, obstruction of justice, and securities fraud. You have the right to remain silent. The officers moved toward Nathan. His lawyers tried to intervene, but there was nothing they could do. The evidence was too clear. The witnesses too numerous. The conspiracy too exposed. As they handcuffed Nathan Cole in front of his former colleagues, Maya felt Gloria's hand on her shoulder. 35 years. Gloria whispered. 35 years I waited to see something like this. Maya covered Gloria's hand with her own. It's not over yet, but we're winning. Jordan appeared at her other side, tears streaming down their face. I can't believe it. I can't believe it actually worked. It worked because you were brave enough to tell the truth. Maya squeezed Jordan's arm. You risked everything. Don't ever forget that. The police led Nathan Cole toward the exit. As he passed Maya, he stopped and turned his head. You think you've won? His voice was quiet now. Deadly. I have friends you've never heard of. Resources you can't imagine. This company will never be safe as long as you're running it. Maya met his gaze without flinching. Your nephew said something similar right before he slapped me. He thought he was untouchable too. Nathan's face twisted. The officers pulled him away. Eleanor Briggs approached Maya slowly. Her makeup was ruined from crying, but there was something new in her eyes. Relief, maybe. Or the beginning of redemption. I know my apology doesn't mean much, Eleanor said. But I'm sorry. For everything. Maya looked at her for a long moment. Apologies don't fix what happened, but you told the truth when it mattered. That counts for something. What happens now? Eleanor asked. Now we rebuild. We clean out every person who enabled this culture of discrimination. We implement real accountability. We become the company I always intended us to be. And me? Maya considered the question. Eleanor had been a collaborator, a coward, but she had also been a victim trapped by the same system that had tried to destroy Maya. That depends on you, Maya finally said. You can resign quietly and disappear, or you can stay and help me fix what's broken. Your choice. Eleanor's eyes filled with fresh tears. I want to stay. I want to make it right. Then we'll talk tomorrow, after you've had time to think about what that really means. The room was emptying now. Shareholders were leaving in small groups, many of them stopping to shake Maya's hand or offer words of support. The news crews outside were clamoring for statements. The world was watching. Maya walked to the window and looked out at the city below. Her city, her company, her victory. But she knew this was only the beginning. Nathan Cole had allies. The hedge fund wasn't going to give up easily. There would be lawsuits and counterattacks and attempts to undermine everything she had accomplished today. It didn't matter. She had won this battle. She would win the next one too. Her phone buzzed. A text from Alicia Ramos, her attorney. Criminal charges against Travis Cole filed an hour ago. Assault and battery. Evidence tampering. He's being processed now. Bail hearing tomorrow. Maya typed back. Make sure he doesn't get out. I want him sitting in a cell thinking about what he did. Done. And Maya, I'm proud of you. We all are. Gloria appeared beside her again, holding her worn notebooks. What do we do with these now? Gloria asked. Maya took the notebooks. 35 years of documented injustice. 35 years of silent resistance. We publish them, Maya said. Every incident, every complaint, every name. We let the world see what you saw. We make sure no one can ever pretend they didn't know. Gloria's eyes widened. You'd do that. You'd let everyone see. This isn't just your story anymore, Gloria. It's all of our stories. It's the story of everyone who was ever told to keep their head down and stay quiet. And it deserves to be told. Gloria's weathered hand reached out and gripped Maya's arm. Thank you, Dr. Ellison. Thank you for being the one who finally listened. Maya pulled the older woman into a hug. Thank you for never giving up, even when no one else cared. They stood there for a long moment, two women from different generations who had fought the same battles, who had finally, after all these years, won. When they pulled apart, Jordan was waiting with Maya's coat. The press wants a statement, Jordan said. What do you want to tell them? Maya thought about the question. About everything that had happened in the last 36 hours. About the slap that had started it all. About the conspiracy that had tried to destroy her. About the truth that had set her free. Tell them I'll speak at the hotel tomorrow morning, Maya said. At the lobby where this all started. I want to make my statement standing on the same marble floor where Travis Cole thought he could break me. And what will you say? Maya looked out the window one more time. The sun was high now, flooding the city with light. I'll say what I've always said, that this company was built to be a place where everyone is welcomed, where everyone is respected, where no one has to bow their head or bite their tongue just to be treated with basic human dignity. She turned to face Gloria and Jordan, these two women who had risked everything to stand with her. And then, I'll say, we're just getting started. 3 months had passed since the shareholder meeting that changed everything. The morning sun poured through the windows of the Ellison Grand Hotel as Maya stepped into the lobby for the grand reopening. Her heels clicked against the same marble floor where Travis Cole had struck her, where her earring had skittered across the stone, where her world had shattered and rebuilt itself in ways she never could have imagined. The bruise on her cheek had faded weeks ago, but Maya hadn't forgotten. She would never forget. Gloria Watkins stood at the entrance, wearing a tailored blazer instead of her old housekeeping uniform. The transformation was remarkable. The woman who had spent 35 years documenting injustice from the shadows was now the general manager of the Ellison Grand, her name engraved on a brass plate beside the door. "Dr. Ellison?" Gloria's voice cracked with emotion. "Welcome home." Maya embraced her. "We did this together, Gloria. Don't ever forget that." "I couldn't forget if I tried." Gloria pulled back, wiping her eyes. 35 years of waiting. And now, look at us. Jordan Pike hurried over, tablet in hand, wearing the sharp suit of their new position as Director of Guest Relations. The nervous front desk clerk who had once watched Travis terrorize guests was now responsible for ensuring every visitor received the dignity they deserved. Dr. Ellison, the press is gathered outside, over 50 news outlets. "They're all waiting for your statement." Maya nodded. "How's the staff?" "Nervous but ready. We trained for this. They know what we expect." Maya looked around the lobby. New faces everywhere. Every single employee had been vetted, trained, and educated on the standards of respect and equality that would define this new era. Some of the old staff had been invited back after thorough reviews. Others had been permanently banned. The culture of discrimination that had festered for decades was being systematically dismantled. Eleanor Briggs approached from the business center, her posture different now. Humbler. She had resigned from her position as board chair, but accepted a new role overseeing the company's civil rights compliance. A chance at redemption she had promised not to waste. "Maya, there's something you should see before the press conference." Eleanor held out her phone. "It's trending everywhere." Maya took the phone. A video was playing a compilation of news coverage from the past 3 months. Travis Cole being led into court in handcuffs. Nathan Cole's mugshot on every network. Board members resigning in disgrace. Shareholders praising Maya's courage. Civil rights leaders calling the Ellison case a watershed moment. And then the video shifted to something else. Ordinary people. Black families sharing stories of times they had been discriminated against at hotels. Hispanic travelers describing the humiliation of being questioned about their reservations. Asian business executives recounting the subtle and not-so-subtle racism they had endured. But now in the comments, a different narrative was emerging. People sharing their experiences at the new Ellison Grand. Praising the staff. Celebrating the change. "I stayed at the Ellison last week," one woman wrote. "First time in my life I felt truly welcome at a luxury hotel. My grandmother cried when she checked in." Another comment read, "She said she never thought she would see a place like this in her lifetime." Maya handed the phone back to Eleanor. Her throat was tight with emotion she refused to show. "They're watching," Eleanor said quietly. "The whole country is watching what you do next. Then let's give them something worth watching." Maya walked toward the main entrance. Gloria fell into step beside her. Jordan followed with the tablet. Eleanor hung back, knowing this moment belonged to Maya. Outside, the crowd was massive. Reporters pressed against barriers. Cameras flashed. Microphones thrust forward like weapons. But there were other faces too. Community members, civil rights activists, families who had traveled from across the country to witness this moment. And in the front row, a familiar face caught Maya's attention. An older black woman with gray hair and tired eyes holding the hand of a young boy who couldn't have been more than 8 years old. Maya recognized her immediately. Patricia Washington, the grandmother who had checked in with her family on the day of the reopening announcement. The woman whose reservation had been honored without question, whose grandchildren had been welcomed with warmth, whose tears had told Maya everything she needed to know. Maya stepped up to the podium. The crowd fell silent. 3 months ago. Maya began, her voice carrying across the gathered crowd. I walked into this hotel as a guest. I wanted to see how my staff treated people when they thought no one was watching. What I discovered was a culture of discrimination that had been allowed to flourish for years. What I experienced was assault at the hands of a manager who believed I didn't belong in my own lobby. She paused, letting the words settle. Today, I stand here to announce that the Ellison Grand Hotel has been transformed. Not just in policy, but in culture. Not just in training, but in spirit. Every person who walks through these doors will be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of the color of their skin, the accent in their voice, or the assumptions strangers might make about where they belong. Cameras clicked. Reporters scribbled notes. But this isn't just about one hotel. Maya's voice grew stronger. This is about every hotel in America, every restaurant, every store, every place where people like me have been made to feel like intruders in spaces we have every right to occupy. She looked directly at Patricia Washington in the front row. Mrs. Washington, would you join me up here? The older woman's eyes widened. She hesitated, but her grandson tugged at her hand. Go, Grandma. Go. Patricia made her way to the podium, her steps slow but steady. Maya took her hand and helped her up the final step. Tell them, Maya said quietly. Tell them what you told me. Patricia looked out at the crowd. Her voice was thin at first, then stronger. When I was a young woman, my husband and I tried to check into a hotel for our honeymoon. They told us there were no rooms, but we could see empty keys hanging on the wall behind them. We slept in our car that night. The crowd was silent. For 50 years, I avoided luxury hotels, told myself I didn't belong in places like that, told my children the same thing, told my grandchildren. Patricia's voice cracked. Last week, I checked into this hotel with my grandson. The woman at the front desk smiled at us. She used our names. She upgraded us to a nicer room without us asking. And when Marcus here said he wanted to see the pool, she walked us there herself. Patricia wiped her eyes. I called my daughter that night. I told her something I never thought I would say. I told her there are places in this world where we are welcome now. Places where our money is as good as anyone else's. Places where we don't have to bow our heads or bite our tongues just to be treated like human beings. She turned to Maya. You did that, Dr. Ellison. You made that happen, and I will never forget it. Maya embraced the older woman. Cameras flashed. The crowd erupted in applause. When Patricia returned to her place, Maya turned back to the podium. What Mrs. Washington experienced should not be remarkable. It should be ordinary. It should be the baseline of how every person is treated in every establishment in this country. Her voice hardened. But we all know that's not the reality. We all know there are still Travis Coles in every industry, still Nathan Coles pulling strings behind closed doors, still systems designed to keep people in their place. She leaned forward. I'm not naive enough to think that one hotel can change all of that, but I am determined enough to try, and I am asking everyone watching to join me. Maya pulled out a document and held it up. Today, I am announcing the Ellison Standard, a comprehensive set of guidelines for anti-discrimination practices in the hospitality industry. We are making this available to every hotel chain in America free of charge. We are offering training resources, compliance tools, and support for any establishment that wants to do better. She set down the document. Some will call this idealistic. Some will say the market will never change. Some will dismiss this as the fantasy of an angry black woman who doesn't understand how the world really works. Her eyes swept across the crowd. To them, I say this, I understand exactly how the world works. I have felt it on my face. I have tasted the blood in my mouth. I have watched powerful men try to destroy me because they couldn't accept that I had earned my place at the table. Her voice dropped to something quiet and fierce. And I am still here, still standing, still fighting. Because the world doesn't change by accepting how it is. It changes by demanding how it should be. The applause that followed was thunderous. Maya stepped back from the podium, allowing the moment to wash over her. Gloria was crying openly now. Jordan was beaming. Even Eleanor had tears in her eyes. But Maya wasn't finished. "One more announcement," she said, returning to the microphone. The crowd quieted. Gloria Watkins spent 35 years working at this hotel, 35 years of watching discrimination happen and documenting it in secret, believing that someday someone would care enough to listen. Gloria's hand flew to her mouth. Today, I am announcing the Gloria Watkins Scholarship Fund, a $10 million endowment to support students from underserved communities who want to pursue careers in hospitality management. Because the industry doesn't just need better policies, it needs different leadership. Gloria was shaking her head, tears streaming down her face. Maya walked to her and took both her hands. "You kept writing when no one was reading. You kept believing when there was no reason to believe. This is for you, Gloria. This is for everyone like you." Gloria couldn't speak. She just pulled Maya into an embrace that said everything words could not. The press conference continued for another hour. Questions about the legal cases against the Cole family. Questions about the company's financial recovery. Questions about Maya's plans for expansion. But through it all, Maya kept returning to the same theme. Dignity, respect. The radical idea that every person deserves to be treated as fully human, regardless of who they are or where they come from. By noon, the crowds had dispersed. The cameras had gone. The lobby of the Ellison Grand was filling with guests, real guests, families and business travelers, and tourists from around the world. Maya stood near the concierge desk watching. A black family with 3 children approached the front desk. The new clerk, a young woman named Destiny, greeted them with a warm smile. "Welcome to the Ellison Grand. You must be the Jacksons. We have you in our family suite on the top floor. And I see we have some young adventurers here." She leaned down to the children's level. "Would you like to know a secret? The best ice cream in the city is at our restaurant. And I happen to know the first scoop is free for junior guests." The children's faces lit up. Their parents exchanged glances of surprised delight. Maya watched it all, her heart full. This is what she had built. Not just a hotel. A statement. A promise. A glimpse of what the world could be if enough people decided to demand better. Jordan appeared at her elbow. "Dr. Ellison, you have a phone call. It's the White House." Maya's eyebrows rose. "The White House?" "The President's office. They want to discuss featuring the Ellison Standard in a national initiative on workplace discrimination." Maya took a moment to process this. 3 months ago, she had been suspended from her own company, her reputation shattered, her future uncertain. Now the President of the United States wanted to talk to her. "Tell them I'll call back in an hour," Maya said. "Right now, I want to watch my hotel work." Jordan nodded and stepped away. Gloria joined Maya near the concierge desk. They stood in comfortable silence, watching the lobby fill with life. "You know what I keep thinking about?" Gloria asked. "What's that?" "That morning, when Travis grabbed your wrist and you didn't flinch, when he slapped you and you didn't fall. I've replayed it in my mind 1,000 times. Maya touched her cheek, remembering. "I've seen a lot of people broken by men like Travis," Gloria continued. "Seen them crumble and give in and give up, but you just stood there. You didn't even blink." "I wanted to scream," Maya admitted. I wanted to hit him back. I wanted to burn the whole place to the ground. But you didn't. No, I didn't. Maya turned to face Gloria. Because that's what they wanted. They wanted me to be the angry black woman they could dismiss. They wanted footage of me losing control. They wanted to prove that I didn't belong. She looked out at the lobby again. So I gave them the opposite. I gave them dignity. I gave them composure. I gave them a woman who could take a slap and respond with strength instead of chaos. Gloria shook her head slowly. I don't know how you did it. 30 years of practice, Maya said quietly. 30 years of being underestimated. 30 years of men like Travis thinking they could break me with their contempt and their condescension and their casual cruelty. She smiled, and there was something fierce in it. They never understood. Every slap, every insult, every door slammed in my face just made me stronger, made me more determined, made me more certain that I would never ever let them win. The afternoon passed in a blur of activity. VIP guests arrived. Staff performed flawlessly. The restaurant received rave reviews. Every interaction Maya observed reflected the culture she had fought so hard to create. At 6 o'clock, Patricia Washington found Maya in the lobby. Her grandson Marcus was holding a small gift wrapped in paper he had clearly decorated himself. Dr. Ellison, Marcus wanted to give you something before we leave. The boy held out the gift with both hands. I made it myself. Maya knelt down to his level and carefully unwrapped the paper. Inside was a drawing. A picture of the hotel lobby with two figures standing in the center. One was clearly Maya in her navy dress. The other was smaller with a big smile. That's me, Marcus explained. Standing with you, because you're the lady who makes sure everyone feels welcome. Maya's eyes stung with tears. She refused to let fall. This is beautiful, Marcus. I'm going to hang it in my office. Really? Really. And every time I look at it, I'm going to remember why we do this, why we fight, why we never give up. Patricia placed her hand on Maya's shoulder. Thank you, Dr. Ellison, for everything. After they left, Maya stood alone in the lobby, holding Marcus's drawing. The evening light was fading. Staff members were changing shifts. The hotel was settling into its nighttime rhythm. Jordan approached one final time. Dr. Ellison, the numbers are in. First day of operations exceeded projections by 40%. Guest satisfaction scores are the highest in company history. And social media sentiment is overwhelmingly positive. Maya nodded, but her mind was elsewhere. Jordan, do you remember what Travis said to me that morning, right before he slapped me? Jordan's face tightened at the memory. He called you entitled. He said you thought you owned the place. And I told him the truth. I said I owned every brick, every chandelier, every piece of marble he was standing on. Maya looked around the lobby one last time. I was right. This is my house. And now everyone who walks through those doors knows exactly what that means. She handed Marcus's drawing to Jordan. Have this framed and put in my office. Top priority. Yes, Dr. Ellison. Maya walked toward the exit. Gloria was waiting by the door coat in hand. Going home? Gloria asked. Eventually. First I want to walk the block, see my hotel from the outside. They stepped out together into the cool evening air. The Ellison Grand rose above them, its name blazing in gold letters against the twilight sky. You know something, Gloria? What's that? Maya looked up at the building she had dreamed of for 20 years. The building that had almost been taken from her. The building that now stood as a symbol of everything she believed in. They thought one slap would be enough to destroy me. They thought their money and their connections and their contempt would be enough to push me out. She turned to Gloria, and her eyes were burning with quiet fire. They were wrong. And now they're sitting in prison cells, watching the world celebrate everything they tried to destroy. Gloria smiled, and it was the smile of a woman who had waited 35 years for justice. So what happens now, Dr. Ellison? Maya looked back at her hotel, at the guests streaming through the doors, at the staff greeting them with genuine warmth, at the future she had built from the ashes of everything that had tried to break her. "Now we keep going," Maya said. "Now we build more hotels, change more lives, train more leaders, until every Black family can check in without fear, until every Hispanic traveler can make a reservation without suspicion, until every Asian businesswoman can walk through a lobby and be treated like she belongs there." She started walking toward her car, Gloria beside her. "They thought they could silence me with violence. They thought they could erase me with lies. They thought America would always choose their side." Maya stopped and turned back one final time. The Ellison Grand stood tall against the darkening sky, its lights blazing, its doors open to everyone. But America chose the truth, and the truth is that this country is changing, slowly, painfully, but changing. She looked at Gloria, at the woman who had documented injustice for 35 years without losing hope. "And we're the ones doing the changing." Maya Ellison got in her car and drove into the night, leaving behind the hotel that bore her name and the legacy that would outlive them all. 9 minutes. That's how long it had taken to fire the staff that had enabled her assault. 3 months. That's how long it had taken to rebuild her company and restore her name. And the rest of her life. That's how long she would spend proving that dignity was not a privilege reserved for the powerful, but a right that belonged to everyone. The Ellison Grand stood watch over the city, its lights burning bright, its doors open wide, its promise echoing through the night. In this house, everyone is welcome. In this house, everyone belongs. In this house, no one will ever be made to feel small again. And somewhere in the distance, a grandmother was telling her grandchildren a story about the day the world started to change. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow's story is one you cannot miss. And remember, dignity is not given. It is claimed. It is demanded. It is won.